Okay, so let's build a service. We've downloaded everything we need from the Go site, and it's in our This Week folder. So I'm going to start with songs if I want to import songs. Notice right now I'm starting from scratch, so I'm going to import all of the songs right now. So I go to File. This is something you probably don't usually have to do, but when you're starting, you go to File, you go to Import Song. I'm gonna navigate. I want to add songs, the OpenLP 2.0 songs. I'm going to add those files. I'm going to go to my desktop. I'm going to go to my folder called This Week. I'm going to go to my songs folder. There's all the songs I want to import right there. So I take all of them, Control A. I open them. I say Next. And just like that, I've got all those songs that I need. That's great. Remember, if you just need one song, maybe down the road you'll just need one song. You do the same basic thing, but just add the one song instead of all of them. There's another video for how to edit a song. You can watch that later. I'm just going to skip on. I'm going to add some images now. Okay. Well, first of all, let me just say let's say there's 4 songs. So there's song number 1. There's song number 2, and again, I get these from the worship order. Song number 3, song number 4. So there's my songs. Want to make sure that the worship order, or this order of this in the song is right. I've got them all drug in there. So songs are in. Okay, so now let's get announcement slides. So I come in here. I'm going to double click on the This Week folder. I come in and I go to my announcements. And there's all my announcement slides. Control A selects them all, and I'm going to drag them over into images. Okay, so now here's my announcement slides. Now there's A1 and A2. Let's say that I want to bring those two in, that those are going to be announcements after the first song. So A1, I drag it in right there after the first song. A2, I drag it just underneath it. Just underneath it, I drag it down there. Let's say that there's also a foundations announcement, which is F1. So I'm going to drag in the foundations announcement, and that's going to go right here. And again, I can reorder these slides however I want to. Okay, and then the Z slides are always the slides at the end of the service. And for the Z slides, you want to bunch those up. You want to grab those together, drag those over, release, and you notice that nests those slides. And the advantage to that is when you nest slides and you double click on those slides, now you can run them in a loop by, here's the timing of those 2 slides in a loop, and at the end of the service, let's say you loop it at 12 seconds and you click on this, and it will loop those 2 slides, or however many slides are in that nest, until you hit X here, and you can stop that loop. But so my slides are done. Let's say my sermon slides are done, or maybe even these first slides, 01 through 03, I'm going to loop those. So again, I click on that, I hold Shift down, and I click on all 3 of them together. I drag them over here. I'm going to bring those all the way to the beginning of the service, and then I can loop those slides also if I want to. All right, the other thing I need is I need sermon slides. So here's how I do sermon slides. I want to actually delete all of these slides. I don't need them anymore. Once I've drugged them over to the Service Manager, I can delete them now. And now I can open up the This Week file, and I'm going to go to Slides. These are the sermon slides. I'm going to select all of them. Control A selects all of them. I drag them over. And then for the sermon slides, you always want to bring them all together in one nest, nested together. So I Control A, select them all. I drag them over. Sermon slides typically go after the 3rd song, and so there they are. There's all my sermon slides right there. Okay, now I'm ready to bring in some of my videos. Videos are media, so I click on the media tab. I'm going to delete whatever was there from the previous week. I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to grab. Let's say that I've got a countdown video, a baptism video, and the sermon intro video. So I drag those over there, and now once they're in the media manager, now I can drag them over to my service manager. So let's say the baptism video is going to go right at the end after that last song, Mighty to Save, but before the closing slides. Countdown obviously is going to go right up toward the beginning. It's probably going to come right here. And then the sermon intro obviously is going to go before the sermon. And so I drag it right here. So you can see, remember that was a sermon right there. You can see how quickly I'm able to build this service. I've got the folder that I've already previously downloaded from the Go site, and I just quickly build the service by dragging stuff into media or images and then dragging it over to the service manager. So here's my service manager, and now that is ready to go. Now, just a quick little comment on navigating and actually using the program. So down here you can see what is being displayed on the screen. So I'm going to double click on images, and you see that those images come up. And you notice I get a live shot over here. These are everything nested here. I can double click on this WMV file, and depending on how I've got my media set up, if you double click on it, it'll either play right away, or you double click on it, it'll queue it up, and you can make sure that the slider's all the way to the left and then hit play. That's the better way to do that. And if you want to double click without sending it to live right away, so that you have the advantage of moving the slider over, just make sure in your settings under Configure OpenLP you don't have this one clicked, and then that will allow you to double click, queue it up, and then make sure that the slider's correct and hit play. Now notice on a song, when I double click on the song, it opens it up in the live, and so now I can navigate through this live either by just clicking on this, and you can see it's changing down here when I click, or by using the down arrow. So down arrow just moves you down through those songs. And it's the same thing for the images for the sermon. So here's the sermon. So I'm going to double click on that, and there's my sermon slides, and I can either control it from the back of from the computer at the back, or the teacher should be able to control it with the remote if your shortcut settings are properly set up. But it's important that you need to click them into this live screen before they can control it. So if you're out here, obviously, or if you're up here, then they can't control it yet until you bring them into it and make sure you click on the first one or whichever one, and now they should be able to control it and advance it on their own. And then one more useful thing, if you're ever panicking, if you're having a hard time finding where you are or getting the right slide, don't panic. Just click this little button right here. That's the blackout button. Watch what happens. This is the slide that's on the projector right now, but if I click the blackout button, it just goes black. And now I can go navigate to wherever I need to navigate to. I can go to a song. So I can double click over here on the song. I can go to this song, and I can get to where I want to go. Let's say we want to go to the pre-chorus, and now I can unblank it, and it's unblanked on the pre-chorus. In future videos, we'll talk about the theme and how this changes the way the songs are displayed, and we'll also talk about some other useful tools in OpenLP.